So I welcome all of you to English Dhamma discussion, and I hope Venerable Dhamma Vijita will lead the discussion. I'll take the back seat. Anyway, Kumara, from your side, are there any reports or any other things to present?
Yes, Bante, there's one report we have received from email.
Right. Can you present it then? We'll after that we'll go into the discussion.
Yes. Theruvan Sarnai Bante, been meditating for about 4 to 5 years. Report, walking meditation. Began concentrating on lifting, moving and placing the feet. Few feelings and thoughts passed by. Initially took about 60 steps without distractions. Gradually increased it to about 300. Either way, mind remained neutral towards all experiences. No reactions at all. Meditation ended after 45 minutes. Sitting meditation. Started Anapanasati, concentrating on the in and out breath at the end of the nostril. Mostly short breaths experienced. Minor pain along right side shoulder which slowly decreased. Few feelings and thoughts passed by and concentration naturally came back to breathing. Initially took about 40 breaths without distractions and gradually increased to about 100. Later was able to continuously concentrate on the breath without distractions. Again, mind is very neutral. Body came lighter and breaths became shorter. After a while, no breathing. Mind seems to be calm and still. Meditation time was 55 minutes. Daily activities. Is mindful during most daily activities. Aware when the mind derails. Often tend to feel sleepy when less active. Either way, mind is mostly neutral towards all the above, lesser reactions. Recognizes angry feelings or thoughts immediately and prevents reactions. Can maintain a calm mind when alone and among a crowd. Kindly advise on how to proceed. Much merit to you, Bante. That's the end of the report, Bante.
So basically what you are doing is correct. So now mind recognize kind of a mindful space. We can say a kind of an empty space. It doesn't want to get attached with so many things, but there's a possibility of being alone, secluded, but there are no complaints being alone, but rather it prefers to be alone. And even though various distractions are available, but mind does not want to get distracted. Mind likes to be alone. Mind likes to maintain its solitude. So if this is what you are experiencing, just continue your practice. So more and more this is what you may further experience. Kind of an equanimity, kind of a balance of the mind and less agitations. And amidst all the difficulties or amidst all the various disturbances, mind is capable of remaining calm, quiet. So this is where we want to further continue. And particularly during the sitting, suppose that you arrive this through Kayanupasana, through Anapanasati, then you can slowly look at the mind. So after you reach this state, you can slowly, naturally look at the mind. And if there is any kind of mental activities, that also you can calm down. Say subtle thinking is there, let it go. So don't promote any thinking, kind of a background thinking. Background subtle, say, fractions of thoughts are there. Say, let them go also. Further purify the mind. Further make it completely quiet, relax. So then you can further, say, enhance it. You can further strengthen it. So that should be the kind of quietude that you can reach. Complete silence of the mind. And as you have mentioned in the daily activities also, probably now you can quickly calm down yourself and you can recognize various emotions, thoughts arising in the mind. And that also, you better see how they are coming and going. Because the point is you can learn something rather than simply say dispassionate. You can see what is my character. So what are the thoughts coming quite often. So that shows what are the hinges still available, that certain attachments still available. And once you recognize it, simply drop it. Understand, I mean, these defilements are still prevalent, still these are available, and I have to further work out. And knowing all that, knowing your shortcomings, knowing your thoughts, knowing your sort of, say, biases, knowing your traits. So this is how we are now progressing. Okay, then...
that's all from this side.
Okay, good. So then I'll invite Venerable Dhamma Vijita, and I invite Venerable Dhamma Lankara to conduct the session. So Dhamma Lankara can recite the Pali verse, and then Dhamma Vijita can recite the English translation, and again Dhamma Lankara can recite the Sinhala translation as well. I am just listening.
අවසරයි ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ. පිංගිය සුත්තං ජින්නෝ හමස්මි අබලෝ වීත වන්නෝ වරහන් within brackets ඉච්ඡා යස්මා පිංගියෝ නෙත්තාන සුද්ධා සවනං න පහසු මාහන් නස්සං මෝමුහෝ අන්තරාව ආචික්ක ධම්මං යමහං විජඤ්ඤං ජාති ජරාය ඉද විප්පහාණං.
Can you repeat?
ජින්නෝ හමස්මි අබලෝ වීත වන්නෝ within brackets ඉච්ඡා යස්මා පිංගියෝ නෙත්තාන සුද්ධා සවනං න පහසු මාහන් නස්සං මෝමුහෝ අන්තරාව ආචික්ක ධම්මං යමහං විජඤ්ඤං ජාති ජරාය ඉද විප්පහාණං.
I'll just say as an introduction, this is Pingiya, and it is said here in the commentary that the Brahman was overcome by old age, 120 years old, and he was so weak that when he intended to take a step here, he would step elsewhere, and his previous skin color had faded. So the verse goes, I am old, weak, my color gone, said the Venerable Pingiya. My eyesight is not clear, my hearing is faint. Do not let me perish confused along the way. Declare the Dhamma that I might understand the abandoning here of birth and old age.
So what I understood is now, if you can remember the history or the background story, who's their teacher? Bavari. So Bavari is the teacher, and he's sending his 16 students. So among these 16 students, Pinge is one of them, and he seems to be a pretty old one. Because Bavari also 120 years, and this fellow also 120 years, isn't it? Committee says 120.
Pingiya is the nephew of Bavari. But they're the same age, I guess.
Same age, I don't know. Anyway, he also seems to be an old person, and his invitation is in a way very sort of as a he wants to sympathize himself, right? I mean, I'm going to die now. I am pretty old. Please don't let me die as a confused person. Say, I am going to die as with some confusion. Please help me. Please tell me the truth. Tell me the Dhamma. This is a kind of an invitation as he's doing to the Buddha, making to the Buddha, and so we'll see the answer. Yeah. Sinhala කියනවා ඒකත් හොඳයි.
ආයුෂ්මත් පිංගිය මෙසේ විචාරයි. මම ජීර්ණයෙමි, දුර්වලයෙමි, විවර්ණයෙමි. මාගේ නේත්‍රයෝ ශුද්ධ නොවේති. ශ්‍රවණයද පහසු නැත. මම මුඹ වහන්සේගේ දහම් පසක් නොකොට අතුරෙහිම මුලා වූයෙම් නහමක් මියෙම්වා. මේ පහන සෑ වෙහෙරෙහිම ජාති ජරාවන්ගේ ප්‍රහාණය වූ යම් දහමක් අසා මම දැනගන්නෙම් නම් ඒ දහම වදාළ මැනව.
So what we need to understand is now he is coming at his pretty old age. Now he is afraid of dying with a confused mind. Now he is pleading to the Buddha, please teach me the Dhamma, so that I may understand it before my death. Some similar thing actually we can remember Bahya. If you can remember the Bahya Sutta. So Bahya also so enthusiastic. Remember that he thought that he is an Arahant. Later he get to know he is not, and then he is coming, following the Buddha, while Buddha was on the Pindapata, arms round. And he approached the Buddha and asked, Bhante, please give me the teaching. Buddha said, no, I am on the Pindapata. This is not the right time. Then Bahya said, Bhante, please teach me the teaching. I am coming from all this time, all this long to get you the teaching. Please teach me. Again Buddha denies. No, I am on Pindapata. This is not the right time. Third time also he pleads. And again, I think third time he agreed. No, third time I think Buddha say, okay, I am going to teach you. So likewise, very interesting suttas are there. Pretty old monks sometimes. Now, say for example, Malunke Buddha also very old monk. So he also come to the Buddha and ask, Bhante, please give me a kammatthana. I want to become an arahanta. I want to practice alone. Please give me a kammatthana. Buddha said, oh, you just old guy, he's coming and bugging me all the time and asking kammatthana. So interesting stories are there. So how sometimes when they become old, so they become a bit restless, thinking, okay, I don't have much time. I better quickly get enlightened. So please, Bhante, please give me the teaching. So they are coming and interrupting the Buddha. So good thing, it's a very natural kind of how humans are approaching the Buddha, how they are enthusiastic, knowing that they are soon going to die, not much time available. Very interesting. Actually, yesterday, accidentally, I heard that Apple CEO who was there, that Steve Jobs, right? So he too is a very interesting character, and he knew he's going to die. He reflected his death quite often. And one motto he is having every day, he is going in front of the, I think, mirror or something, and he reflect, so this could be my last day. So what are the activities I am going to do today? This can be my last day. And he particularly mentioned, then I can't take over unnecessary tasks. Because this is my last day. I have to choose what is the most important task which I have to attend. All other unnecessary, irrelevant, say, unimportant tasks I am dropping. Only the essential, important tasks I am doing because this is my last day. I mean, real time management in a way, very critical in a way, that he is thinking, okay, this is a very interesting day, this is a very, very important day, this is my last day, this is what I have now, so open sheet, what I am going to write there. Because sometimes people think this Marananusati from a different point of view. I mean, you think it's unauspicious. Don't talk about the death. Now, these people are taking it for advantage. These people are quite, are kind of very brave people. They know I am going to die. And anyhow, those doctors only have given him 3 months. And later, after the experiment, they found they can, through an operation, they can do a English spelling, I don't know. The kind of an operation, and then he was gone through a successful operation. Maybe not within 3 months, but still he died. He died within some time. He didn't live long life. Very interesting characters. I mean, nowadays, current days, no. I mean, these are not Buddha's time. These are current age. How those kind of remarkable people, how they have faced the death, knowingly, okay, I have very short time, what I am going to do. Interesting. Yeah.
අවසරයි සාන්නස දිස්වාන රූපේසු විහඤ්ඤමානේ within brackets පිංගියාති භගවා close bracket රුප්පන්ති රූපේසු ජනා පමත්තා තස්මා තුවං පිංගිය අප්පමත්තෝ ජහස්සු රූපං අපුනබ්බ වාය දිස්වාන රූපේසු විහඤ්ඤමානේ රුප්පන්ති රූපේසු ජනා පමත්තා තස්මාතුවං පිංගිය අප්පමත්තෝ ජහස්සු රූපං අපුනබ්භවාය.
Having seen those stricken by forms, Pingya, said the Blessed One, people who are heedless, afflicted by forms, therefore, Pingya, being heedful, abandoned form for an end to renewed existence. Yes, Bhante. Having seen those stricken by forms, Pingya, said the Blessed One, people who are heedless, afflicted by forms, therefore, Pingya, being heedful, abandoned form for an end to renewed existence.
Within brackets, බුදුහු මෙසේ වදාළහ. පිංගියනි close bracket රූප නිමිතින් නැසෙන උන් දැක කුසල ධර්මයන්හි ප්‍රමත්ත වූ ජනයෝ රූපයන් නිමිති කොට පෙළෙති. පිංගිය තෙපි කුසල ධර්මයේහි අප්‍රමත්තව පුනර්භවය නොවනු පිණිස රූපය දුරු කරව.
Actually, this we discussed even during the previous discussion. Now here form. So what are the form? Who this Chatu? Can you explain? Not just body. Exactly. No, not the five aggregates. Here the form, particularly the form aggregate. Form aggregate does not only see the sights. So we sometimes simply say form, the rupa. The rupa sometimes we use as the sights. But here rupa has a broader meaning as the form aggregate. So all sights, sounds, smells, tastes, tangibles, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, all are included in that. So large area.
So although they say form, it's all sense spaces.
Exactly. All physical, sense based, external and internal phenomena comes under the form aggregate. So when it say that Dhisvana rupesu vihanyamane, ruppanti rupesu jana pamatta. So all these forms are subjected to kind of a deterioration, change. They are so vulnerable, but still people get being tormented by them because they have attachment to them, they are thinking about them, their mind is crowded about them. Can you repeat what I have mentioned, the Malankara, about the, say, how five sensual chords, how they are crowding the mind? We just discuss.
From ear, sounds and
මම කිව්වේ දැන් අර පංචකාමයෙන් හිත මේ ආකීර්ණ වෙන හැටි ඒ චුට්ට විස්තර කරන්න. කියන්න බලන්න. How, now what my question is, how one's mind get crowded by all this? Can you explain a little bit?
It's okay. I thought from sounds and we from ears we hear sounds and we think about sounds and we imagine about that again and again, kind of something. Then eyes and sights, we are thinking. We always think about that this was happened, but I thought this to be happened, but happened different things, and likewise, and thinking, and mind get crowded from that, something like that.
Further about odors.
Yeah, and odors and nose and odors, and we think about odors again and again, and so and craving is increasing through this.
Similar, yeah. So those are called the five sensual chords. The sights are there, sounds are there, smells, tastes, and tangibles. So our mind get crowded through all that. In this human realm, in this sensual realm, so you can see what is crowding your mind. Is your mind completely empty? Is your mind completely pure? Or constantly are there any sights, related images coming to your mind? Say you assume that you love a particular picture. Say you love your car. Even though you go somewhere, car information, car related images, pictures may be popping up in your mind. Say you are in love with someone. That loved one may again and again come into your mind. Say a father, he abandoned his child just to go to somewhere. But still that child may come into his mind, torturing in a way. Again and again come into the mind, again and again thinking about him, what are the incidents happen, what are the good times I have had with him. All that memories all are coming and crowding the mind. Similarly, the sounds, say a melody, say a song, say you remember a particular song, you recently heard a particular song. So all that words may be the lyrics, may be the theme, may be the singer, all that information again and again come into the mind. So what we call the panchakama, the 5 kinds of sensual chords. So they are the ones actually in a way occupying the mind. Now Buddha say, okay, you got to quite often check your mind, reflect your mind, what is there in the mind. So what is there in your mind, Chatu?
While you were talking, I was thinking about stuff that appears in my mind. Usually it's images and sounds, but I was thinking I don't really get smells or tastes. And I don't know why, but that's what I was thinking while you were talking.
Correct. So that's the thing. So you need to understand, still some attachments are there. Say you love certain music. So that songs, that singer, that lyrics may be coming to the mind. So once it comes, so you may even murmur that song a little. Isn't it? So it happened to me. So I know it very well. So then maybe certain people, what you have seen, or certain incidents that you have gone through, or whatever belongings you have, sometimes they may pop up in your mind. So that means we have some inclinations, we have some attachments, some hooks with respect to them. So here, what Buddha say? Dissana rupesu vihanyamani, ruppanti rupesu janapamatta, tasma tuam pingya appamattu, jahassu rupam. So what Buddha says, now see, these people are being, completely heedless by all these 5 sensual chords. They are completely involved with it, thinking about it, approaching them, acquiring them, and once they lose, they are crying, they become despair. All that, you see how they are being tormented by all this. Dissana rupesu vihanyamani, ruppanti rupesu janapamatta, and they are heedless. So what you need to do? Tasma tuang pingya appamatto. Now pingya, you should be heedful. Jahassurupang, you need to abandon all this sensuality. Jahassurupang. You need to abandon all this form aggregate. And then apunabbhavaya. If you are able to do that, you can end this samsara. So punabbhava, apunabbhava. Opposite. What's a punabbhava? Don't know? Rebirth. Apunabbhava, end of rebirth. So if you are able to do that, if your mind becomes completely pure, free from all these sight, sound, smell, states and all that related perceptions, related signs, related marks, and your mind is completely purified, then there won't be any rebirth. So within one verse, Buddha gives this depth. That's the beauty of all these verses. These are not easy tasks. We all understand, right? It's a complete our practice. But he comprised all that very concise, and then he say, okay, this is what you need to do. Anything to add?
Yes, Bhante, I'm listening to your, I guess this is this coming from the Sinhala commentary, how this verse is described?
No, actually I have linked Mahasunyata Sutta.
A different sutta. This has a little bit different from Bhikkhu Bodhi. He, having seen those stricken by forms, those people stricken by forms, when there is form, they inflict various punishments on them. So they have them flogged and whips, and they have their head cut off with a sword. Thus, because of forms, with forms as condition, by reason of forms, beings are stricken, attacked, injured, wounded. People who are heedless, afflicted by forms, afflicted, disturbed, oppressed, besieged, they become ill and dejected. They are afflicted by illness of the eyes, illness of the ears, illness of the body, by contact with mosquitoes, wind, sun, heat. So it's taking more like form as being...
Internal side, correct. Yeah, I have taken the external side, he's explained from the internal side. Both are good. So internally also, now when I have the form, when I have the body, when I have eyes, ears, nose, tongue and the body, so I have to suffer. There may be eye-related diseases, eye-related issues, ear-related diseases, ear-related issues, nose, tongue, body are the same. I get old and I get various sicknesses, I have to go through various torturing from the, say, whenever I go through something. So all that happens because I have the form. So you see how what a kind of a suffering you have to go through because you have eyes, ears, nose, tongue and the body. So in case if you are able to completely abandon this, have no attachment at all, in the sense it is not that you give up the whole thing, rather, so you have no attachment, then there is no next life. There is no any next birth with all these. Then you are free from all the suffering coming through because of having these faculties. So he's talking about the internal faculties particularly, eyes, ears, nose, etc.
And maybe because he's speaking to Pingiya, because Pingiya is going to be dying, and maybe, so yes. He's attached to his body becoming sick. And
not only that, he already have now understood. Because what a suffering now I am going through because of this body. Now Pingiya well understood that, no? He often gets sick. He is now very old and his body completely, discolored. Now he has no. It's very easy for Buddha to inspire him. Okay, now let it go. It's not something. It's not something valuable. You got to drop it. It's useless. Something like that. I mean, he is now catalyzing that. He is using that. Okay, now your eyes you can't see properly. Your ears you can hear properly. Like that, he is using the body, the internal senses, to promote disenchantment, dispassion in Pingiya's mind.
So the external teaching would be for a younger person that's not so concerned about the body.
Correct. Maybe. Actually, I have referred Sunyata Sutta. So not only in that sutta, there are many other suttas. So what Buddha refers is that there are sights which you like to see. There are sounds which you like to hear. There are smells that you like to experience. There are, say, tastes that you like to taste. And there are tangibles that you like to experience. So constantly your mind gets occupied by them. So you need to reflect, is it happening in me right now? Is my mind occupied thoughts related to those sights? Is my mind get occupied with thoughts related to those sounds? So you need to often reflect, check your mind. Is it like this? If so, if there is it, then you need to understand, okay, still the Chandaraga is there. Still the attachment is there. Still the desires are operating in the mind. That's why they are bringing all these garbage inside. Yeah. Anything to add? Yeah.
Swami Avasara, in Sinhala discussion, Swami Nansa explained about in Mahashunyata Sutta somewhere, Lord Buddha advised us to think about what was in your mind and what is coming and going. So how are we checking, look at that without any judgment, or how about that, Bhante? without any judgment, or let's say different thoughts are coming and going. So if one judge this is good and this is bad, and likewise that is not good according to my opinion, and just without any judgment we can be aware about that, or how, any further explanation?
Sight, certain images are popping. Typically what happens is we have a judgment. Okay, this is really beautiful, I want to talk, I want to attach, I want to see the more pictures about it. Now you go and browse and all that. So that means I have attracted to that, because I evaluated it as something very beautiful, something very important, something very good. But the strategy, the vipassana strategy is, you see, okay, this is a mere image. If you are able to do that, then it won't last for a long time in the mind. So there you are using kind of an unjudgmental awareness. Okay, this is a mere image. This is not something. Rather you see it as a mere image. So this happens through insight. This happens as a vipassana practice. So rather than you being attributing a value to it, attributing an importance to it, you see it as a mere mental image. So that insight helps you to drop it quickly. Otherwise it will promote, once you give a kind of a judgment, it will promote either attraction or repulsion. As a result of that, there may be successive thoughts, succeeding thoughts again arise. But the moment you able to stop it, stop judging, merely see the thing as it is, then it may fade away very quickly. So that may be a strategy that you can use. So another point is, you can understand, okay, why this has come. That's another way you can see. Still there are, traits in me. Say, often assume, I'm just giving an example. Say in your mind, often the pictures of girls are appearing. That indicate, oh, I have some sexual desires operating in me. So those are the ones still, internally occupied. So that's why they are again, and that related images are popping up in the mind. Assume that you often say image of say flowers. So your mind may be aesthetic. You have certain judgment, you have certain biases to some beautiful aesthetic scenes or flowers or whatever it is. That's why they are constantly coming up. So you promoted that. Now you need to see it, now you need to drop it. Not promoting it, not strengthening it. So that is the strategy that we need to understand. So whatever I like, they are the ones often come into the mind. And sometimes whatever we don't like also can come. Because I have a grudge, I have a certain resistance towards them. So they also can come. So if I am able to have a very balanced mind, I am not attracted, I am not repulsed, but I am maintaining a kind of a balance. Either good, either bad, I am not taking a stand. I am considering them all in kind of a equanimous way. Then I am not promoting any of them. So that's a very good insight for us to maintain, so that they may not occupy the mind too much. Good. Anything to add? 9:35.
I guess there's many ways you could approach that. Then also, I guess when an image comes up in your mind, you could think about how you're feeling about that image, or do I have a neutral feeling about it? Do I have a pleasurable feeling, or do I have a averse feeling?
Exactly.
So it seems, for me, it makes you take a step back from believing, like if it's you're seeing a girl in your mind and you're believing, I really like seeing this girl, So you're believing in a sense of you're believing in it, rather than stepping back and saying, oh, there's a sense of pleasure with this image of a girl. So then you take a step back and analyze it. a sense of pleasure is coming up with this image. Or if it's aversion, you're taking a step back and saying, oh, there's aversion in the mind, and I can see that I'm relating the aversion to this person here. So kind of gives us a way to strategize.
Making kind of a separation. Rather than you being attracted, rather than you being repulsed. Attracted means the kama tanha, sensual desire. Repulsed means the vibhava tanha. I want to get rid of it, I don't want it, I am averse of it. The vibhava tanha. So without any of this, see things as they are. Asanghirang asankuppang. Yang vidva manu bruhe. Very beautifully Buddha mentioned in this Baddhekarata Sutta. Asanghirang asankuppang. Yang vidva manu bruhe. So you are not being attracted and not repulsed. Asanghirang asankuppang. Manu bruhe. And this is the kind of platform you need to maintain. So mind remains in a well balance. Even though you see that typically people consider that as a really beautiful sight, but you are not being attracted. People think it's a really bad thing to look, really depressive, but you're not being depressed. You maintain the balance. So the mental equilibrium, kind of an equipoise, kind of evenness of the mind, utterly important.
Rather than believing it's I who love that, it's just this is feeling the feeling of pleasure arising in the mind.
Excellent, yeah.
And if we become attached to it, believe it is I, then we get caught.
Exactly. Very good contribution. Actually, that is where we further get caught. So I like it. It is my car. It's my wife. As my girlfriend. Then we get caught up. So we make a person. She's there, I am here. End of it. So if you can simply see, okay, there's a distance and a sight, maybe just a sight. So without making us person, we are not personifying, either at that end or at this end. It's exactly what Buddha said to Bahya. Ditte dittamattang, sute sutamattang, mute mutamattang, viññāte viññātamattang. So if you are able to do like that, then what happens? You are not there. If you are not making a self there, then you are not here. There is no in between. Very beautiful. Very nice actually. How we make a self in our experience, isn't it? It is not that we are making a self in the meditation hall. Say while we are in the Pindapata. Assume that while you are in the Pindapata, say you are a senior monk. Say your junior come to the front. How the hell he has come here? He should be in the back from me. I am the senior monk. She should not respect me. I comes. So the I is prepared. I is created. So we need to understand. These are mere conventions. We need to respect that. Understood. But how I comes, how an ego pops up in these incidents. So those are the areas actually we need to really work out. So how, always you have to constantly be on guard, constantly be vigilant about the mind, how it is reacting in a particular situation, in a particular incident. Is there any eye making? Is there any mind making? Is there any kind of a conceit? Is there any kind of a comparison happening? I am here, you are there, I am good, I am better, you are bad, you are worse, something like that. Completely practice. This is the practice. It is not that we are practicing just by walking and the sitting, that is necessary, but constantly on guard, seeing how eye making happens, how a person arises, how an individual pops up. Very interesting. Yeah, we can go to the next verse then.
Disa chatasso vidisa chatasso uddhang ado dasa disa imayo Natuyihang adittang asutang mutangva ato aviññānaṁ kinci na matti loke ācikka dhammang yamahang vijññaṁ jāti jarāya idha vippa hānaṁ disā catasso vidisā catasso uddhaṁ adho dasa disā imāyo na tuyihang adittang asutang mutangva ato aviññānaṁ kinci na matti loke ācikka dhammang yamahang vijññaṁ jāti jarāya idha vippa hānaṁ.
In the four directions, the four intermediate directions, above, below, in these 10 directions, there is nothing that you have not seen, heard, and sensed, and nothing in the world uncognized by you. Declare the Dhamma that I might understand the abandoning here of birth and old age. Yes. In the four directions, the four intermediate directions, above, below, in these 10 directions, there is nothing that you have not seen, heard, and sensed, and nothing in the world uncognized by you. Declare the Dhamma that I might understand the abandoning here of birth and old age.
සතර දිගය සතර අනුදිගය උඩය යටය යන මේ දස දික් කෙනෙක් වෙද්ද ලොව්හි මේ හැම තැන්හි මුඹ වහන්සේ විසින් නොදක්නා ලද නොවසන ලද ආග්‍රහණ ස්වාධන ස්පර්ශන නොකරන ලද යලි නොදක්නා ලද කිසිවක් නැති මේ පහනසෑ වෙහෙරෙහිදී මෑ ජාති ජරාවන්ගේ ප්‍රහාණය වූ යම් නිර්වාණ දහමක් මම් දැනගන්නෙම් නම් ඒ දහම වදාළ මැනව.
So basically another question coming from Pingia. In a way, praising the Buddha. I mean, you know everything. In brief, that is what he said. So you know what is seen, what is heard, everything you know. So please give me a path, tell me the path where I can abandon the birth and the death. So we'll go to the last one, then we can end the session. Last verse.
තණ්හාදි පන්නේ තණ්හාදි පන්නේ මනුජේ පෙක්කමානෝ within brackets පිංගියාති භගවා close bracket සන්තා පජාතේ ජරසා පරේතේ තස්මා තුවං පිංගිය අප්පමත්තෝ ජහස්සු තණ්හං අපුනබ්බ වායාති තණ්හාදි පන්නේ මනුජේ පෙක්කමානෝ සන්තා පජාතේ ජරසා පරේතේ තස්මා තුවං පිංගිය අප්පමත්තෝ ජහස්සු තණ්හං අපුනබ්බ වායාති.
Observing people fallen into craving, Pingiya, said the Blessed One, tormented, crushed by old age. Therefore, Pingiya, being heedful, abandoned craving for an end to renewed existence. I could read that again.
Please, yes.
Observing people fallen into craving, Pingiya, said the Blessed One, tormented, crushed by old age. Therefore, Pingiya, being heedful, abandoned craving for an end to renewed existence.
So basically Buddha say, okay, you need to abandon craving. So you can see තියෙනනේ සිංහල.
within brackets භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ මෙසේ වදාළහ පිංගියනි යම් හේකින් තෙපි close bracket තෘෂ්ණායෙහි ගැලී සිටි සත්වයන් හටගත් සිත් තැවිලි ඇතියන් ජරායෙන් මඩනා ලද්දවුන්සේ දක්න වූද එහෙයින් පිංගියනි තෙපි අප්‍රමත්තව පුනර්භවය නොවුණු පිණිස තෘෂ්ණාව දුරු කරවයි.
So basically Buddha say advice to abandon craving. Simple as that. So in brief, the teaching is to abandon craving. So because these people are versed people, well educated in the sense spiritually fairly developed, even though this person is now old. Now so Buddha briefly say, now you need to be mindful, keep the mind unattached, drop all the cravings. So that is your path. In brief. Now that's why the people who are coming to the Buddha in the Sutta Nipata are fairly spiritually gifted people. Now you can see certain others in the Majjhima Nikaya, certain suttas, they are belong to another category. There are 4 categories of people. Have you heard about it? Uddang, මොකද්ද මේ රදායස්ම ඒක පදපරම නෙය්‍ය ඊළඟ එක විපත්ති තඤ්ඤු උග්ගටි තඤ්ඤු. Uggati Tanyo is the, quick-witted people. The quick-witted? He does need a simple verse. He just need a very brief teaching from the Buddha and he will quickly realize it, done. Another group is called Vipati Chanyo. So Buddha has to explain. Once it is given a detailed explanation, he may understand it, he may also go through. Then there's Neyya. Buddha explain, this person has to practice, become a monk, practice, meditate, again go to the Buddha, again, clarify certain doubts, again practice, maybe go through. Padaparama is the last one. Even though Buddha explained, even though he practiced, still in this life can't do. Now the people we come across in this Parayana Magga are the first category. So they require only a very brief teaching. And they have the capacity, by knowing that brief teaching, they can, sort of recognize their, defilements, abandon them, purify themselves very quickly. So those kind of people are there. Often we come across in the Parayana Magga or often in the Sutta Nipata. So therefore Buddha's teaching is also very concise. Buddha doesn't want to explain in detail. And he simply say, okay, you need to be mindful. Look at your mind. Is there any attachments? Is there any cravings? You need to abandon that. Then this is the path. Okay, I'd like to wind up the session. Please do the sharing of merits.
Excuse me, Bhante. May our relatives and all beings share in the merit of today's teaching. May all celestial beings share in the merit produced by today's teaching. And may they protect the Dhamma exposition and dispensation of the Buddha and his disciples for a very long time. And perhaps the seeds of Buddha's teaching that have been planted in our hearts and minds may grow, producing path, fruition, and nirvana. I invite you to join in the recitation of the Pali verses for sharing the merits.